What? I'm going to tell you my mistakes. But hey, welcome back to Writing with Monda. I'm LaMonda. As you read below, as you clicked, today's video is going to be talking about my 3 biggest mistakes as an author and as a publisher. I guess I'll start with as an author. As you probably seen in my video when I talked about my journey to becoming an author, I'll link it up here somewhere. This side, one of these sides. Okay, I'll link it up here. I talked about how I really didn't want to become an author. I wrote poetry and I wrote stories as a way to just express myself. It wasn't for the public to consume. It was just for me and whomever I shared it with. But I was inspired, and I felt like it was divine intervention to share my stories with the world. And I guess the biggest mistake in becoming an author, I don't want to say was me becoming an author, but I guess the biggest mistake of going on my author's journey was not reaching out to more than one person or more than the 2 people that I talked about in that video. Because I wasn't truly serious about it and I wasn't pursuing this as a life goal or a career, I didn't see the need to. But as I continued to grow within my journey as an author and putting out multiple books, I see now, like looking back, because they say hindsight is 2020. Looking back, I should have reached out to authors that I became connected with. So I would go to different vending events and I would meet multiple people and they would just tell me their stories and how they wrote a book and all this stuff. And we would connect, like I would get their information, but I would never follow up. I would say that's because I was a little shy back then, but also because I didn't have a desire to do this full time. I didn't have a desire to pursue this as a lifelong goal, But yeah, I think if you're serious about becoming an author and you're serious about doing this as like a long-term thing, I would suggest to you to reach out and build a network of authors. And they don't need to look just like you, just a network of a diverse network of people who have been in the book writing arena for years, or they may just be starting out and you both want to like guide each other through the process. I suggest you do that. Doing this by yourself is hard. Doing self-publishing, being an indie author, working with a small publishing house or a small publishing group is hard. So you want to have a network of people who can guide you through the process, or even just be there to listen and give you wisdom or give you knowledge of their experience. And that's something that I didn't have when I first started. So I think I say number 1 was not connecting with other authors was a big mistake. The second thing is, again, because I did not take this seriously, branding yourself, like truly branding and putting yourself out there. Again, I didn't take it seriously when I first started, so I didn't feel the need to market myself. I didn't feel the need to build up the anticipation of my book, because I had this mindset of I'm not telling anyone until I know for sure that I'm going to do this, and that's fine. But once I was in the process, like chin deep, I should say, in the process, I should have started taking that time to market myself, to brand myself, to tell people that it was coming, and not wait the week of like, oh, yeah, girl, my book is coming out next week. No, I should have started, pushing it more. Gratefully and honest to God, I'm so grateful that I was able to sell as many books as I did my first like as I released, because of my family and friends and the support system that I had. But at the same time, I could have sold more. I could have done a lot more with. Okay. Another mistake was not having templates. So the biggest thing, like I said, you can't assume that every project is going to be the same. But if you have something like a foundation to work from, so a template or a boilerplate for a poetry book, or a boilerplate for a novel or a nonfiction book, it'll make your life a lot easier when you're trying to format. You have something that you can show your client so that they can decide what they want their interior to look like. You have something to show them as far as the cover is concerned. So having templates will make your life a little bit easier. So that's something that I'm taking now, moving forward with, and making more templates, taking the time out to actually make templates for myself and for my clients, so that way, you know, we have something to work from versus working from scratch. You want to work smarter, not harder. Basically, my tips on, or the biggest mistakes and tips, I guess you can say, of me being an author and a publisher. So like, share, and subscribe.